Space isn't just rockets, planets, and astronauts. It's also filled with the strangest, most unbelievable laws you've never heard of. From owning the moon to paying taxes for pizza in orbit, these rules will blow your mind. Stay with me till the end, because law number 40 is the wildest of all. 1. You can't own the moon. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty says no country or person can claim the moon flags. Houses or deeds mean nothing. Thousands bought fake moon property, but legally, it's all worthless. The moon belongs to everyone, not anyone -2. No weapons in orbit space is meant for peace. The treaty bans nuclear bombs or war machines in orbit. Countries can launch satellites and telescopes, but not missiles. The idea is simple. The sky shouldn't turn into the battlefield of tomorrow. 3. Astronauts follow their own country's lawn, the International Space Station. Laws are tricky. If a Japanese astronaut steals from an American astronaut, Japanese law applies. Each astronaut carries their country's legal system with them. It's like Earth's borders, floating in space, -4. Rescue every astronaut. Astronauts are considered envoys of humankind. If a Chinese astronaut needs help, even an American rival must assist. This law forces peace in orbit, enemies on Earth, allies in space. Survival comes before politics when floating 250 miles above Earth. -5. Russia taxed pizza in space. 2001, Pizza Hut sent a pizza to the ISS, but Russia didn't allow it tax-free. They charged delivery and marketing fees. Even in orbit, governments find ways to collect money. Imagine paying taxes in zero gravity. 6. No one can claim an asteroid. Want to buy an asteroid? Too bad. Just like the moon, no one owns asteroids. Even mining rights are unclear. Companies dream of asteroid gold, but for now, the law blocks anyone from hoarding space rocks. Space debris liability: if your rocket explodes and its debris crashes into another country, you're responsible for damages. In 1978, a Soviet satellite spread radioactive material over Canada. The USSR had to pay $3 million in cleanup costs. Space trash isn't cheap. -8. No military bases on the moon. The moon is strictly demilitarized. No bases, no weapons, no testing. Even though countries dream of dominance, international law demands the moon stay peaceful. It's the one place where humanity has agreed. No war allowed. -9. Crimes in orbit can go global. If an astronaut commits a crime against another astronaut of a different country, multiple nations may get involved. Lawyers call it jurisdictional chaos. Imagine an international court debating who prosecutes a theft that happened while orbiting Earth. -10. No private landlords in space. You can't rent out the moon or sell plots on Mars. Yet dozens of fake companies still sell Martian property deeds. It's all illegal and meaningless. Still, thousands proudly hang these fake deeds on their walls at home. -11. Deadly lasers are banned in orbit space. Agencies are allowed to use telescopes and sensors, but any laser strong enough to blind or kill is banned. The fear that one satellite could disable every other satellite and end global communications overnight. 12. Astronauts must return home. If an astronaut lands in another country by accident, they must be returned safely to their own nation, even if it's during war, the law demands. Astronauts are not prisoners. They're explorers. -13. You can't launch. Without permission, no private company or person can launch a rocket without government approval. Every launch must be registered with the UN. If you secretly launch a rocket, you're committing an international crime. -14. No space advertising. Space is not Times Square. International law bans giant billboards orbiting Earth. In the 1990s, Pepsi wanted to beam its logo across the night sky, but the law stopped it. Thankfully, your night stars remain untouched. -15. Space salvage is complicated. If you find a broken satellite, you can't keep it. The country that launched it still owns it, even if it's dead and drifting forever. Space junk is basically eternal property. -16. Space animals are protected. Sending animals into orbit must follow strict animal welfare rules. After early cruel experiments with dogs and monkeys, laws now limit what can be done. Space exploration has to treat animals with dignity. -17, you can't pollute space nations must. Minimize harmful contamination in orbit and on celestial bodies. Dumping radioactive waste on Mars. Illegal. Bringing Earth bacteria to another planet. Also banned, space must stay clean for future generations. -18, astronauts must share discoveries, scientific findings. In space must be shared internationally. If you discover a new phenomenon, you can't hide it. The law demands transparencies. Based knowledge belongs to humanity, not just one nation. -19. No claiming resources yet mining asteroids or Mars for gold, water, or fuel is still legally unclear. Some nations are pushing to change this, but under the treaty, no one can claim resources as property. For now, cosmic treasure hunts remain illegal. -20, military spies allowed ironically while weapons are banned, spy satellites are legal. Nations constantly watch each other from orbit. It's one of the weirdest double standards in space. Law peaceful, but also paranoid. 21, space tourists follow rules. If a billionaire like Jeff Bezos misbehaves in orbit, they fall under the same space laws as astronauts. Tourism doesn't mean freedom. Space still has strict international control. In space, the 1960s saw nuclear tests in orbit, but today they're banned. Exploding bombs in the sky creates radiation belts that damage satellites and threaten astronauts. The law protects both Earth and space from nuclear madness. -23, every rocket must be registered. Each launch is logged with the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs. Rockets have ID numbers like cars. If a mystery rocket appears, it's treated as illegal. -24, astronauts aren't allowed to abandon ship. Astronauts can't just leave their mission or spacecraft. They are legally bound to follow mission orders until rescue. Space isn't Uber. You can't just hop out in mid-orbit. -25, no mining the moon's ice. Scientists. No water ice exists on the moon, but international law says no one can claim it for themselves. Future space colonies may depend on ice for survival, but legally, it belongs to everyone. Even though Elon Musk dreams of colonization, international law blocks nations from planting flags and claiming it. Mars belongs to humanity as a whole. -27. Liability for space collisions. If your satellite crashes into another, you pay damages. Even if it's an accident, the launching nation is responsible. In space, mistakes cost millions. -28. No bioweapons in orbit. You can't release diseases in space. Bioweapons are strictly banned. Scientists fear that deadly pathogens in orbit could eventually fall back to Earth or wipe out future colonies. -29. Astronauts can't go rogue. Astronauts can't just declare independence in orbit. They remain under their government's authority. No space pirates allowed, at least legally. -30. Outer space is free for all. No nation can deny another from traveling through space. Orbits, planets, and moons are open highways for all humanity. Space must remain a shared frontier. No alien slavery. Yes, the treaty even bans enslaving extraterrestrials. If intelligent life is found, they must be treated as equals. Humanity wrote laws for aliens before even meeting them. 32. Space insurance is mandatory. Companies launching satellites must buy insurance in case of accidents. If their rocket crashes, insurance covers damages. Without it, no launch is approved. -33. The UN oversees space law. The United Nations Outer Space Office manages global space law. Every launch, every astronaut, every mission must be reported. The universe is monitored by Earth's biggest bureaucracy. -34. National flags. Allowed countries can plant their flags on the moon, but it doesn't mean ownership. The U.S. flag from Apollo 11 is symbolic only. No land claim comes with it. Astronauts must stay healthy. Nations are responsible for astronaut medical care when in orbit. If an astronaut gets sick, their home country must provide treatment or cover costs. Space healthcare is international law. -36. No space garbage dumps. You can't send trash into orbit and abandon it. Nations must track every object launched. If it becomes junk, they remain liable. -37. No space pirates allowed. Taking over another nation's spacecraft is a crime. Even if it's abandoned, boarding it without permission counts as theft. Space piracy is banned. 38. You must report UFO discoveries. A nation discovers something unidentified in space. They must share it internationally. No country can hide UFO findings. At least, that's what the law says. 39. You can't. Sell meteorites from space. Bringing home meteorites for commercial sale is restricted. Scientists argue space samples belong to everyone. Still, private collectors secretly trade them for millions. 40. Space belongs to humanity. The final, most important law. Space doesn't belong to any one country, billionaire, or government. It belongs to humanity as a whole. Every rocket, every law, every mission is supposed to keep it that way. And there you have it, 40 of the craziest space laws that actually exist. Which one shocked you the most? The pizza tax? The alien slavery law? Or maybe the fact that no one can ever own the moon? Let me know in the comments and subscribe, because crazier laws are coming soon.